And although various news sources like Politico and USA Today say Senator Lincoln is against the public plan, she made her position clear with me. Downtown drivers may soon have the option of paying for street parking with either a cell phone or a credit card. A recent study conducted by Transportation Research Lab found that people that were driving while texting had a delayed reaction of 35%. Businesses are leaving Cleveland Park, one of the city's richest neighborhoods, from a coffee shop to a consignment shop, and the latest casualty, Supercuts. Even though school has been out for more than a month, speeding tickets are still being issued out in school zones, and that has some Maryland drivers upset. More on that story coming up.
What do we need? Healthcare. And when do we want it? Now.
Supporters of President Obama's health care reform took to the streets in D.C., and even Obama has been speaking out to organizations like AARP.
Our members are very concerned that we have a reform of the system. And they're concerned that during the August recess that momentum not be lost in Congress.
And that's a reform other organizations are taking to task.
We do not support a new government-run insurance plan because that would significantly disrupt the coverage people currently have.
Lawmakers here in Washington have been hearing from their constituents at home. Congressman John Boozman says people are concerned about their health care options.
We're receiving a tremendous amount of emails, lots of calls. In fact, I hope that people aren't aggravated. At times they can't get through because of the call volume, but they're very, very concerned. They're concerned about rationing if they're seniors.
And on the other side of the hill, Senator Mark Pryor has been hearing the same thing.
You know, I hear from constituents all the time about health care. I think people in Arkansas want health care reform, but they want us to do it in a smart way, and they don't want us to break the bank and try to fix the problem.
And it's a problem that may have to wait until after the August recess, when Congress reconvenes in September. In Washington, I'm Nikki Bailangiro for KNWA Northwest Arkansas News. It's not DUI, it's DWT, driving while texting. A new problem on America's highways. A new survey by Nationwide Insurance Company found that 1 in 5 cell phone users text while driving. The state of New York has now joined the 12 states that have already banned texting behind the wheel. I hit the streets of Syracuse to find out how police are enforcing this ban. What could be any more dangerous, some ask, than a teenager behind the wheel after downing a few beers? Some think it's a teen driver distracted by text messaging or talking on a cell phone in traffic.
Driving while intoxicated is still got to be the most dangerous.
I think texting will be it, you know what I mean? Because when you're distracted while you're driving, you're not focused on the road.
I would definitely prefer driving with someone that's texting.
5 teenage girls that had just graduated high school were killed in a tragic accident right after graduation, and it did come back that a text message was being sent or received from the driver.
A recent study conducted by Transportation Research Lab found that people that were driving while texting had a delayed reaction of 35%, and people that were driving under the influence had a delayed reaction of 21%, 14% lower than those driving while texting. Officer Christopher Cushman of North Syracuse has a zero tolerance to those driving while texting. The law is hard to enforce, but it's illegal in the state of New York, and Cushman says a distracted driver is a danger on the road.
Okay, do you know why I stopped you today, ma'am?
Well, probably because just as you went to pass me, I got a phone call and I answered it, said I'm driving and I'll call you back.
With a fine of up to $200, some will still break the law.
A ticket for your cell phone here. Village North Syracuse Court.
It's not just the act of looking down or texting, but it's the mental distraction. And that's why even though we have a hands-free law in New York State, we still don't want drivers, regardless of age, to have a false sense of security, because whether you're physically holding the device or not, if you're concentrating on that conversation, you're not concentrating on driving.
The text message that lawmakers want everyone to receive is to drive now and text later. In Syracuse, Nikki Bailangiro for NCC News. And the controversy surrounding Destiny USA doesn't end there. Carousel Center developer Robert Conjol managed to claim $10 million in tax breaks. Thanks, Kate. Prayers could be heard from the shores of Onondaga Lake early this afternoon. This will be the third time that workers vote on a new contract. And if this proposal passes, it is not known what the company will do. The vote takes place as almost 1,400 workers hired in January are now out of work.